Some people told to leave their homes ahead of the storm may not have a place to go. That's why state emergency officials are stepping up, opening 2 state-run shelters. One is at Christopher Newport University in Newport News. The other is at William & Mary in Williamsburg. And that's where 13 News Now reporter Adriana de Alba is live with what you need to know.
This building behind me is the college's tennis center, but as of today, it's now a shelter. It'll accommodate as many as 1,500 people, and it's open now, so anybody seeking shelter could walk right through those doors. The state of Virginia is bracing for Hurricane Florence to make landfall. 2 state shelters are opening today. All throughout the day, delivery trucks have been dropping materials off at the McCormack Nagelson Tennis Center at the College of William & Mary. State police surrounding the facility to keep it safe. Crews preparing to welcome people seeking shelter. It's open to everyone, and you're not required to bring any identification or proof of residency. You can bring your service animals, and the shelter will be providing people with bedding, meals, water, and snacks. But make sure to bring your emergency kits, any personal medications, phone chargers, or other electronics. Earlier today, Governor Northam urged people to get to higher ground and seek shelter, stating, quote, "Plan to be off the roads before the storm arrives to avoid unsafe driving situations and traffic congestion, and stay put until the storm passes." And on top of being a safe place to stay, there will also be counselors on site here ready to help families cope with any potential trauma that they might face along the way. We're live in Williamsburg. Adriana de Alba, 13 News Now.